Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we're embarking on an epic journey to one of the most dynamic and powerful places on our planet. It is a place responsible for about 90% of the world's earthquakes and home to over 75% of its active volcanoes. We're talking, of course, about the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now you've probably heard this name before, maybe in a science class or a news report about a major earthquake. But what exactly is it? Is it an actual ring of fire? Well, not quite, but the reality is even more fascinating. The Ring of Fire is a massive horseshoe-shaped path in the Pacific Ocean basin, stretching over 40,000 kilometers. It runs up the coast of South America, along the North American coast, across the Bering Strait, down through Japan, and into New Zealand. It's less a single, continuous line and more a vast, interconnected zone of intense geological activity. Over the next few minutes, we're going to dive deep into what makes this region tick, exploring the incredible forces that shape our world, create new land, and unleash unimaginable power. So buckle up as we explore the seismic secrets of the Ring of Fire. To truly understand the Ring of Fire, we need to zoom out and look at our planet's fundamental design. The Earth's outer shell, the lithosphere, isn't one solid piece. Instead, it's broken up into several massive tectonic plates, kind of like a cracked eggshell. These plates are constantly on the move, floating on the semi-fluid asthenosphere beneath them. They drift at about the same speed your fingernails grow, a few centimeters per year. It might not sound like much, but over millions of years, this slow dance has sculpted our continents and oceans. The Ring of Fire is essentially a giant boundary, a meeting point where some of the biggest tectonic plates on Earth collide, slide past each other, and pull apart. The massive Pacific Plate is the star of the show here. It's interacting with numerous other plates, including the North American Plate, the South American Plate, the Eurasian Plate, and the Australian Plate. Think of it like a massive traffic junction, but instead of cars, you have continent-sized slabs of rock. This constant interaction is the engine driving all the seismic and volcanic drama. It's at these plate boundaries that the magic and the mayhem happens. Let's talk about the main event: earthquakes. Why are there so many in the Ring of Fire? It all comes down to the way these tectonic plates interact. The most common type of interaction here is subduction. This is where a denser oceanic plate collides with a less dense continental plate. Because it's heavier, the oceanic plate is forced to bend and slide underneath the continental plate, sinking back into the Earth's mantle. This process isn't smooth. The plates get stuck. Imagine trying to push a heavy box across a rough floor. It jerks and jolts. The same thing happens with tectonic plates. As the subducting plate grinds against the overriding plate, immense stress and strain build up over decades or even centuries. When the stress finally becomes too much for the rocks to handle, they snap. This sudden release of energy sends out seismic waves in all directions, and that's what we feel on the surface as an earthquake. These subduction zones are notorious for creating the most powerful earthquakes on the planet, known as megathrust earthquakes. The 2011 Tohoku earthquake in Japan and the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake are infamous examples of the devastating power unleashed at these boundaries. But subduction zones don't just cause the ground to shake, they also build mountains of fire. As the oceanic plate dives deeper into the mantle, the intense heat and pressure cause water trapped in the rock and ocean sediments to be released. This water lowers the melting point of the surrounding mantle rock, causing it to melt and form magma. Because this newly formed magma is less dense than the solid rock around it, it begins to rise towards the surface. It finds its way through cracks and weaknesses in the overriding continental plate. As it rises, it can pool in underground chambers. When the pressure builds up enough, a volcanic eruption occurs. This process creates long chains of volcanoes known as volcanic arcs that run parallel to the coastline. The Andes Mountains in South America and the Cascade Range in North America, which includes Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier, are classic examples of these volcanic arcs. So, every time you see one of those beautiful cone-shaped volcanoes in places like Japan, Indonesia, or Chile, you're looking at a direct result of the subduction process happening deep beneath your feet. It's a constant cycle of destruction and creation. Not all boundaries in the Ring of Fire are about one plate diving under another. In some places, the plates slide horizontally past each other. This is called a transform boundary. The most famous example of this is the San Andreas Fault in California. Here, the Pacific plate is grinding northwest past the North American plate. Just like with subduction, the movement isn't smooth. The plates lock up, build stress, and then suddenly slip, causing earthquakes. While these transform faults don't typically generate the same kind of massive megathrust quakes as subduction zones, they can still produce very strong and destructive shallow earthquakes that can devastate populated areas. Think of the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. Then, in other parts of the Ring of Fire, plates are pulling apart from each other. These are divergent boundaries. As the plates separate, magma from the mantle rises to fill the gap, creating new crust on the ocean floor. This process, known as seafloor spreading, also triggers earthquakes and creates underwater volcanoes and hydrothermal vents. So, you see, the Ring of Fire isn't just one type of activity. It's a complex tapestry woven from subduction, transform, and divergent boundaries, all contributing to its restless nature. So, how do we study and understand this incredibly active region? Living in the Ring of Fire means living with a constant awareness of nature's power. Millions of people have built their lives and cities in this dynamic zone. So, how do they cope? The key is preparedness and engineering. Countries like Japan and Chile, which have experienced some of the strongest earthquakes in recorded history, are world leaders in earthquake-resistant construction. Buildings are designed to sway and flex with the ground's motion, rather than rigidly resisting it, which would cause them to collapse. They use technologies like base isolation pads and massive pendulums that act as dampers to absorb seismic energy. Early warning systems are also vital. In Japan, for example, a sophisticated network can detect the initial, faster seismic waves from an earthquake and send out alerts to the public seconds before the more destructive, slower waves arrive. This brief warning gives people precious time to drop, cover, and hold on, and it can automatically shut down trains and industrial processes. For volcanoes, hazard maps are created to show which areas are most at risk from lava flows, mud flows, or ashfall, guiding land use planning and evacuation routes. It's a continuous effort to coexist with the powerful forces of our planet. The Ring of Fire is a stark and beautiful reminder that our planet is alive. It's a place where new land is born from volcanic fire, and old crust is recycled back into the Earth's heart. The seismic activity patterns here are a direct window into the immense geological engine that drives our world. From the deep trenches where plates subduct, to the soaring volcanic peaks they create, every earthquake and every eruption is a part of a grand planetary cycle that has been going on for billions of years. Understanding these patterns isn't just an academic exercise, it's a critical tool for survival, enabling us to build safer communities and prepare for the inevitable movements of the Earth beneath us. The Ring of Fire teaches us about the power of our planet, but it also showcases human ingenuity and our ability to adapt and thrive in even the most challenging environments. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible geological journey today. I hope you have a new appreciation for the dynamic forces that shape our world. If you found this video interesting and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And for more deep dives into the wonders of our universe, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. Let us know in the comments what other science topics you'd love for us to explore. Until next time, stay curious.